So,
Hello.
hello, everybody. Yep.
Hello,
n-
hello, hello.
So, we are here to discuss the absolutely amazing second or maybe fourth episode of season 3 of Mandalorian. And I'm sure everybody is going to completely believe that I absolutely adored it. So, we'll see if that's true.
No. But okay, so general thoughts on the episode.
Yeah, I'll go last on this one. So let's go let's go around the clock with Natsa and CT and then me.
Again, like the previous one, I just thought it was okay, just decent. Nothing like I didn't see or see anything like mind blowing.
Yeah, I'd
But
agree with that.
it was just kind of like fun. But that's it.
The minds are alive with the sound of mutants.
No, first thing I saw when I looked at those, I'm thinking these are like the Morlocks from the Time Machine.
Yeah.
the, the
For
the that was the where my first thought process went anyway, because like they're it seemed like Mandalore had survived nuclear winter with that like crystallized surface.
hmm
So like of course any actual survivors would become like flesh eating mutants.
yeah. Mhm.
It was very cool to see the ruins of the city on Mandalore. A callback to Clone Wars.
Oh yeah, the remnants of Sundari.
Yeah, although I kind of wish I don't know. I kind of wish they would have at least sort of let us explore it in live action before it was destroyed.
Well, keep in mind, CT, as good as the show is for a lot of people, they are on a budget, and judging from what I saw on Twitter, it looks like Iger's going to be limiting that budget even more.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Really?
hmm
Yeah, no, he's cutting funding to a lot of the shows. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
I've heard about how Iger is cutting some. I mean, some Star Wars films are not going to be in the works anymore here with like Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins.
Yeah. Hey, Miriam, how you doing?
oh, she
Marion?
popping?
Yep,
Oh,
right here.
Probably just saying hello.
Oh yeah. And and
I
thank
got to
and thank
mute for a little bit because I got to keep an eye
thank you
on
for
my
coming.
nieces
Okay,
just for a
not a
minute.
problem. Okay, so CT, did you have any more specific thoughts about the episode you wanted to mention, or should I go?
um, well, it's sort of kind of like I kind of liked that the weird alien thing that was in the that was I thing that was in the droid.
I'm still trying to figure out if that thing was human or not.
Well, it was some sort of it's some sort of alien brain, I guess, with an eye
Yeah.
that sort of kind of is able to
hmm
dislocate itself from the a machine here.
Oh yeah. I mean, honestly, the machine was interesting. I just must have questions about it, but it was interesting.
Mm.
I was hoping that they'd be answered by the end of the episode, but they weren't. So, eh. Mm.
Mm.
But yeah. Okay. So then I guess my thoughts. Well, let's just say I don't like Pelly. If Pelly actually thinks that she's friends with Mando and vice versa, Pelly would not be cheating her friend, and
Mm.
I did not like that. And then after that, it, it after we got down to after he got to the planet, that so many things went wrong that explicitly shouldn't have gone wrong that I was not happy with. And then we had a few things happen that made me go, really? And then the episode ended, and I was like, well, I've seen worse, and I'm not angered like I was over Kenobi, so I guess that's good. So yeah, I suppose the best that I can say about this episode was that I'm not upset with it, but not a fan.
Right.
So yeah,
Better
that,
to you would have hoped to have like better relations with some people in the galaxy that's so dangerous, though that
yeah, like like when you make friends, when you make friends with somebody, you kind of hope that you have each other's back. I mean that's how a lot of these things I think should go. Not have the person you think is going to have your back, sell you a bill of goods, and then as you're taking off, they warn you that by the way, it's not so great.
Nah.
I mean, I know that was supposed to be funny, but comedic relief was not called for there. Then again, that again, I think that that's all that that character is. I think all that that character is supposed to be is comedic relief.
Yeah.
So as I said, I don't like Pelly.
I like how Nazo described Kelly as, discount Ellen Ripley.
Yep. So I'm going to share my screen where I have the Mandalorian up on it, and I'll step through it like I did last time, which can hopefully keep us on task a little bit, or maybe to be more accurate, keep me on task because yeah, ADD. Okay, so over here, we just have the previously on, where they remind us about the living waters, the purge on the purge on Mandalore, all stuff we saw before, and we get to start off with our very first scene with the person I was just ranting about, Pelly. And I'll admit, I did find the first part of this before Mando showed up amusing, because seeing her just completely scam the random guy, and the fact that all the extra parts were actually in the back of the shop, that amused me quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
And frankly, the amount of money that she'd be getting off of doing this to multiple things should make it more feasible for her to actually competently help her friend rather than take advantage of her friend. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
But what does she do? She sells the R5 as a bill of goods. And I call it a bill of goods because as he's talking to Mando about it, she's saying that it's great for adventuring. And it's like, no, I'm not. And she's like, yeah, you are. And she just keeps on talking it up as if it's the perfect thing to go with him. No, that's not what he was looking for, like at all. What she should do if she doesn't have the right thing on hand to help him with is refer him elsewhere. Or he could have gone back to Grief Karga, who said that he could give Mando any droid he needed. What's he do? He accepts this from her. So he's kind of stupid for accepting it, and she's an asshole for taking advantage of her friend.
Right.
Now, this was important because it's important that we actually got an astromech for reasons that we'll get to later. Now, if this was actually on purpose, like, we really should have an astromech, this wouldn't be such a big deal because, yeah, you really should have an astromech. But he didn't get an astromech to be an astromech. He got the astromech so that he could do spelunking on Mandalore. So, yeah. Nice little coincidence, huh?
Also, what was the point with having IG-11 again here? Or, I mean, is IG-11 forgotten now, or?
That's a very good question. I mean, I would imagine that he left the parts for IG-11 here because I think he still wants to get IG-11 back. But
Yeah, but what's
but from this point forward, in this episode at least, nobody seems to even think about IG-11 ever again.
will he? Well, I don't know. He'll possibly come in handy again, I guess here. But
hmm And hey, JG, how you doing?
Hello, hello. How are you? How are you? Doing
Alright,
well.
Pretty good.
I return.
no,
Just
not as bad.
feel free.
Oh, by
Feel free.
the
Feel free that if there's any background that you don't like, or you need to make a point or whatever, feel free to mute me.
Okay.
No,
I will
not
do.
a problem.
Okay.
Because I'm behind the wheel, so
Yeah. And unlike me, you probably don't have an actual.
Dad, your
headset like I do.
granddaughters are here.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
So,
my
yeah.
girls are there.
Yeah, no. For example, I know we discussed it the last stream, but I did pose a question on Twitter as to whether Din had any character traits, and I actually got some answers, like some decent,
okay.
like honorable, respectful, friendly. I did make a joke with one person I know. She said that he was handsome, and I'm like, so the only thing you can tell me is that he's handsome.
Yep.
I used it with the Darth Maul and the
Yeah.
but yeah, no, so there were plenty of people that gave me, so he does have character traits beyond being a dad to Grogu, but it also is kind of a moot question because at this point he is a dad to Grogu, and that's kind of the traits they're focused on in the show.
Yeah. And it's really funny to me that that all the merchandise, at least originally, about the Mandalorian was all about Grogu. Like the Monopoly set, almost everything was different poses of Grogu. It's
Yeah,
like I thought this was the Mandalorian, not the not the Baby Yodian.
Arian, if you're
I don't
still
know.
somehow there,
I
if
don't
you have any
know.
questions, just bring them up.
Disney just wants to market on cute things a lot.
Yeah, that's what Disney goes for, and it does work. I mean, frankly, even people that don't like the Mandalorian, like that Star Wars girl, is like baby Yoda.
Yeah, they
And
love
Nuggies.
it. They love it. They love it.
Yeah, even the people who hate current Disney are like Baby Yoda. So it's brilliant marketing.
Yeah, no, my and again, this is just my personal, like, most everybody I know, like, there's always like, oh, Grogu's adorable,
Mm-hmm.
or the Grogudian. That's Arian's joke.
I mean,
No,
I mean, I don't have a problem with the Baby Yoda here.
no, I don't have a problem with it either. It's just like when it's the only thing focused on.
Yeah, it's the way that it gets. It's honestly the way that it's emphasized over the person who's supposed to be the actual main character.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, like, I am glad that Grogu actually did something in this episode besides looking cute. He actually, like...
I just wish that it happened for a better reason.
Well, again, like, that's just it feels like the first episode is kind of pointless because, like, everything that happens in this episode is, like, completely different from what happened in episode 1. He ends up choosing a different droid than IG-11.
Yeah.
Despite asking Bo-Katan for help, she does help.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it just felt like it was like unnecessary conflict that was resolved really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, is that good writing or bad writing?
Bad.
Well, if the conflict was going to last more than an episode, I would say it's good writing. If it lasts only one episode, like resolved very quickly, then that's kind of bad writing. It implies that you had these plot threads, but you didn't know where to take them, so you just abandoned them
Yep.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know.
Again, I'm not being aggressive or anything. This is just like my view on the episode. I'm like,
I don't know. Sure, it seems like Bo-Katan would help, Mando for, a reason, I guess. But
well, we all know she was eventually gonna like join up because even the ad seemed to give up the
Ads?
indication that like yeah,
I
like
never
there
saw
were
any ads.
well, I did, so I already knew that she was going to pop up. I just didn't think it was like the very next episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah,
I've managed to miss pretty much all advertising for this. In my opinion, they really dropped the ball on advertising for this season. when the episode came out last week, I was just like, wait, what?
Yeah,
So,
no, but
yeah,
I do like that. I do like kind of Pelly's little scam though with the Jawas. That makes sense.
oh yeah, which
Um,
actually, I'm not sure if you were here for me saying that I actually do like that part of it.
Yeah, no. I kind
It's
of
once
missed it because
Mando got here.
I kind of missed it because I was babysitting my nieces for a minute.
Oh,
But
exactly, and that's why I was recapping it. It was once
okay.
it's once Mando actually comes on the scene that I start getting pissed. But her actually scamming the Rhodian was what was funny as hell. And like I said to CT, now the amount of money that she'd make off of these scams that were let loose. This is not the only one that she's been doing. And it is, guess what? She has plenty of money to help her friend out, so she has no need to cheat her friend.
yeah.
Yeah. It's and I do agree. I still don't think it was right that she just cheated Din, saying, "Here, buy this droid," and
Yeah.
why not just give him the droid?
That sort of kind of shows the issue of greed right there, or
Yeah, no, but I will say this: the silver lining is that it solves a couple of there were a couple of problems that were
Yes.
set up in the first season that were solved. For example, like
No targeting computer or hyperspace calculations.
yeah, and now R5 is there, so now that's not a problem. So in case Din gets into another firefight, R5 can push in the calculations while Din just dodges the shots.
Yeah, and my problem with that is the way that it's done. If he'd actually like realized that, oh crap, this is why I needed an astromech, because he was having trouble hyperspacing out before, but while dodging, and went, oh crap, we need to fix this. Then great, I'm happy for the problem to be fixed. But the problem is being fixed by him being cheated.
No, I do agree though from the point last time. Bounty hunting wise, like if he ends up bounty hunting again, like how are you going to bring your prize home now?
He can't even he can't even squish them into the astromech spot anymore.
Like he's literally going to have to the only solution I can think of is if he carbon freezes the person
and then
attaches the carbon cargo to like the bottom of the thing.
And imagine when he would go into and out of going into and out of atmosphere, or just how much that could screw with its aerodynamics.
Yeah, he'd have to compensate for the extra weight of like the carbon freeze prisoner.
Yeah,
but of course they seem to be implying, oh, he's not a bounty hunter anymore. So
which annoys me.
You want a water?
But yeah. Oh, and you still have your dad muted. Sorry. Hello, I got you back.
Yeah, I had a question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry about that.
Their attempt to. We were talking about this from the last episode in detail about the whole technology it takes to have an astromech in the spot that it was made for. And I think it was kind of a sad attempt to say that the unit was able to just be popped back in.
Yeah.
For the droid.
Now, to be fair here, she actually stated that she would. I think she said I'll even reinstall the port view for free or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, that
but
like it didn't even take long.
no,
like-
it's just pop in, pop out. Okay.
Yeah, it was like it's just an insert. Okay.
There's a lot of connections that I'd imagine that that thing needs to plug into.
I mean, for God's sakes, I know what a harness wire, how much of a pain in the butt a harness wire is for a vehicle. I can't imagine for a ship.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that, and to kind of go along with something that Natsu was saying about them undoing things that was just that had just been done. Right after
Yeah.
he gets this Nubu starfighter, they rip out the guts of the astromech X-Bot, and then
Yep.
within about an episode or so, they're undoing that. It's almost
Yeah.
like they don't have a. It's almost like they don't have a plan.
Almost like, well, I can't use IG-11, so we're not going to even try.
Yeah.
To be fair, I
And-
do think they're going to pick up the IG-11 plot thread.
Oh,
But it'll be like
I
an
bet so,
episode
too.
or two in from now or something.
Yeah. And
You
wouldn't
can
wouldn't IG-11 have been much more useful on the planet?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or something with hover.
Yep.
But no.
Especially if he was operational.
Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just that was a way for them to draw Bo-Katan in.
Yep. And I don't really have a problem with her coming to help him. Where when even last episode she said that she wouldn't go because she had no interest in it because she had no interest in helping him really get to the living waters because she's just like, that's just superstition. Who gives a shit? So she had no interest in helping with that. But when she
was pouting. She was pouting about the sword, though.
Yeah, she was definitely pouting about the sword as well. But then, and when she got the message from Grogu that he was actually in trouble, she liked him enough to want to save his ass. So,
But you know what? She didn't hesitate either.
no, she didn't.
That's
But
another thing. Yeah.
she probably should have hesitated a little bit, but
Yeah.
but no.
Oh, you know what?
Save the day.
I hope this isn't a sad attempt for, basically saying Bo-Katan is attracted to him and it's a simp. I would hate that.
Lord. Please no. I didn't even think about
That's
that.
better than that. That's
What?
better, yeah.
Make Bo-Katan a simp, or
Yeah,
Well,
let's
She's like almost 30 years older than him.
yeah,
And someone actually did like a date. She was born like
well, could do exist.
she was. I know, but she was born like I think it was 51 BBY. But
I
she's like
vaguely recall this.
she's like 50s or 60s,
Mhm.
pretty much. Like, I mean, again, I'm not against that. I'm just saying, like, it's like pretty much kind of cradle robbing. So
Yeah.
Well, in this universe, seeing it's Disney, it could be okay, right?
Yeah.
what?
to be fair, there was also the ship of cradle robbing between Ahsoka and Luke, but I'm not even going to
Yeah.
go into that right
No,
now.
I don't agree with that. But what is cradle robbing exactly? You mean? I'm sorry if it's a term that I've not heard of.
It's the
when
differences.
someone who's older dates someone who's like 10 or 20 years older dates someone who's like 10 or 20 years younger.
Yeah, a very significant difference, not like a few years,
Yes.
but like
Significant.
decades.
So it would be
Yeah.
So
Not that there really is. It's not that there really is a problem with it. It's just makes it raise an eyebrow a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
like if a 20-year-old dude was dating like a 60 or 70-year-old woman, you're like, oh yeah, no,
I
that's
don't
clear
know.
as day cradle robbing there.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but it's still legal. It's still fine. It's just okay then.
Well, at the end of the day, they are both two consenting adults, so
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
yeah. No, I don't mind it in that regard, but like there are certain lines I draw when it comes to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, between the two of them, that's a little more acceptable than, let's just say, a 28-year-old or a 30-year-old dating a 16-year-old.
Yeah. Mm.
An 18-year-old dating a 26-year-old.
No, a 16-year-old dating a 28-year-old.
Okay.
Or
As
a
in not
30-year-old.
as in not an adult dating an adult.
Yeah.
Right.
We are not going there. Mhm.
Well. Yeah.
And like the Anakin and the Asuka ship. No, thank you. Yeah, that's a disturbing one.
Yeah.
And honestly, I've seen some good art with it. And then I looked at that. I thought about no.
Every time I see that ship, it makes me want to vomit. I'm like they're brother and sister. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree with that idea. I mean, plus Anakin's married to Padme. Why would you want to why would you make Anakin cheat on his wife here that he's ever loved? Or
Yeah. And come on, it's obviously not going to be Bo with Din. It's going to be Pelly with Din. But can you see? Can you just
Oh,
see the
good
romance?
lord, no! If Book of Boba Fett taught me anything, she's into weirder than Din. She was making goo goo eyes at the Twi'lek
Jawas.
Major Domo guy. So
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
My God.
So yeah.
and before that, she mentioned she dated a Jawa, which anybody who's dehooded a Jawa, like they kind of look like rats. So
really?
Yeah, if I remember correctly.
yeah, so CT Jawas might be furry. Just keep that in mind.
Here comes the window cleaner.
Yeah, Miriam's talking about she dated a Jawa.
Yep, I remember that. I remember too much about Boba Fett. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now.
So she uploaded her sloppy seconds droid on Din.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I wouldn't rely too much on this one. Its circuitry is a little fragile. She says that just before she closes the cockpit.
That was done for comedic effect, but yeah, it's still,
I know.
You're still screwing your best friend with a crappy droid.
Everything about Pelly is intended for comedic effect. That doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah. True.
But yes, I do recognize that it was done for comedic effect. I just don't care.
Again, the problem I have isn't the comedy. The problem I have is like, if this were like just some random dude, then it would be much funnier. But it's like a frequent customer, someone she respects and trusts. And I'm gonna screw you too.
and she's babysitting Grogu. See, they made a point that she really likes Grogu. So
she babysitted Grogu a couple times.
Yeah, which is why I say friend, not just frequent customer.
Yeah.
He's trusted her to babysit fucking Grogu.
That was a good scam she had going, though. Steal the parts off of the guy's ship and then sell it back to him.
Yep.
Perfect.
So yeah,
That's like a Billy level scam.
And after I saw this part, I just paused it and went to the other room and just started raging to my wife about it, because she's not watching this because she's like, I don't care. And she watched the first season with me. I think she watched
Why
the
does
second season too.
why does your wife sound like the smarter of the two?
Well, she never got into Star Wars growing up.
No, that's fine. It's not everyone's cup of coffee. So,
But after I introduced her to Star Wars, she really liked the episodes 1 through episode 6. And then
Everybody
she
does.
saw,
Everybody.
and then she saw Force
not
Awakens.
everybody. I know more than a few that aren't a big fan of the prequels, and I get why.
Agreed. And then we have Plinkett. And like I've said, at some point I'm going to need to respond to that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, everybody likes it. Everybody has to somewhat like the first 6 because of the fact that without the first 6, they wouldn't have anything else.
But some of them don't admit that.
Nope.
For anybody who claims that, I guess this is a little bit further off topic, but for anyone who claims that the expanded universe was never canon, needs to be very careful because down that road lies the Disney sequels not being canon. Because when people say that the expanded universe isn't canon, they inevitably say that because supposedly George Lucas didn't approve them, right? Well, let's take that a little bit further. Did he approve the ones that Disney made? The company that he said that he sold his show to white slavers?
Right.
So short answer is no.
Do we think that he approved them? So going by that same logic, be very careful because now Disney's his sequels are not canon.
All you got to do is pull out George Lucas's interpretation of the canons in the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got dozens of quotes to back it up, and even if you don't use the quotes, though, like I did literally just the basic research, look on Google, 3 different sources, including Lucasfilm, confirmed it was.
Yeah, but Lucasfilm isn't Lucas. Guess what? Lucasfilm is who had the rights.
Maybe Lucasfilm should just go with there being like a multiverse of some sort.
Yeah, who knows? At this point, I'm just
That's
like,
kind of what they did.
Yeah.
You have to be smart to actually do that.
Yeah. You see, that's what the canon that's what the tier list of canon was for. Shockingly enough.
Yep.
But
Hierarchy,
but Disney was too stupid to use that. And yes, I do call one of the biggest companies around stupid because they've been hemorrhaging money ever for the last 5 years at least.
Yeah,
I just read a report.
Like I feel like they could clean up a lot of continuity mistakes with their current canon had they set up a hierarchy. You can literally say this stuff is in continuity canon and this stuff is in secondary canon, so it may or may not have happened, and that leaves room for interpretation. You can pretty much do, whatever stories you want at that point because they say, well, this part of it's canon, but this part is,
Yeah. But again, that would
it's
have
too
required
arbitrary.
that would have required them to have a plan.
Yeah.
So yeah, and even though I'm the one that brought us off track, I'm going to bring us back on track.
Okay. Please do, somebody.
Yeah. Well, I'm the one with the keyboard, so.
There you go.
All right, kid. Grogu babbles. By the way, for the amount of times that the subtitles say Grogu babbles, I sometimes have looked at it and gone, that wasn't really a babble. That was just a coo.
Also,
kind of like a trill.
What was with the fireworks that were going on Tatooine? I'm wondering, what was that all about?
I can tell you what it's about. Well, they're making a point that this is Boonty Eve, which we've seen in actually Phantom Menace. Is the big celebration with the pod race and all that stuff. So they just randomly decided to have this happen on Boonty Eve so they could have them fly off with all the nice fireworks right behind them. It has nothing to do with the plot whatsoever. It's just completely random so that they could show us pretty visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I have hey
I
Ned,
forgot
that you
about
might
that,
appreciate
actually.
this. Hey, you might appreciate this one, Ned. The little things that Grogu does, the little voice things that he does.
Mhm.
I attribute that to a Katy Cat's trill.
Yeah.
Brr, you know,
Oh yeah,
same thing.
and I'd agree with that. Yeah. And the Mines of Mandalore. And first thing that I thought when I saw the
Yeah,
title, was, okay, that was fast.
yeah,
Because I was expecting to be, I was expecting in actually getting in and to the living waters to be more of an arc. And second
yeah.
episode. Guess what?
It was
We're done with
it was
that.
lackluster. Yeah, it was lackluster, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think the whole doing the baptism thing was lackluster, but the arc
Well,
itself was very lackluster.
Yeah,
that's what I was
yeah.
agreeing with. The baptism itself, I have an issue with, but I'll mention that when we actually get there. I've mentioned that there's two Deus Ex Machinas. That's the second one. Yeah. Oh yeah, JG, you weren't here pre-stream, so you didn't get to hear me mention the other one. Don't worry, I'll mention it when we get to it.
What mention what?
The Deus
Deus
Ex
Ex Machina.
Machina.
Right.
God from the machine. And
I mean, basically, that's what it is. A god of a machine here, or
no, Deus Ex Machina literally means God from the machine. And it comes from old playwright stuff where they would actually have at the end of the play, when everything is screwed beyond measure, or a god literally on a string or a pulley or whatever, so the machine come in and basically wave his wand and fix everything.
Yeah.
So that's what a Deus Ex Machina is. It's the god from the machine. It's the writers basically saying we've written ourselves into a corner, and now we're just going to wave a wand and fix everything. So do you see a little bit more about why I was calling it Deus Ex?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Magic.
Yeah.
To be fair, it feels like most fairy tales are built off of Deus Ex Machinas.
Oh yeah, I would actually say that those are some of the plays that are being referred to with the Deus Ex, with the Deus Ex.
I think the biggest difference, though, is that was the being previously established in the story, or did you just pull it out of your butt?
Yeah. And all of this relates to why I was so insistent on mentioning that they have the R5 unit for no reason that has anything to do with it being an astromech, because that's what I'm going to tie in to it being Deus Ex.
Yeah.
Because they should not have an astromech with them right now. They really shouldn't.
No. You know what? That's funny because when I think about it, I imagine the boardroom when they come up to this stuff. There's probably a designated guy who reads, because that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
There's no proofreading. Just you handle all the reading. He'll handle the research. Don't talk to each other, and then we'll make the script.
Yeah. Pretty much. And now for something a little bit positive, I do like Grogu being taught things by Din, and him explaining stuff. It may seem a little simplistic when he's being shown, but seriously, they're not going to have him poring over the star charts or showing Grogu because that would be boring for us. So I understand why they're not. I do like them showing that he is actively educating Grogu. For all that I bitch, I do want to be fair and say and there's something that I think that they did well.
Yep.
because I'm not just I promise everybody I am not just hating on this to hate. I
No,
do want it to
and you
be
know,
good.
No, that part actually.
that's what
does
a good
make sense.
father would do. That's what a good
Mhm.
father would do.
Yeah.
Well,
What he
keep
did
in
is
mind-
what a good father would do.
Mhm.
Keep in mind, when he originally had Grogu, he was originally going to offload him to some random Jedi. Now the kid came
Exactly.
back to him, so he's like, okay, I guess this is my son now. I guess I can
Yep.
teach him everything I was taught.
And the Mandalorians, at least this sect, are all about adopting in wayward people into the culture. So
That's
the
dude,
foundling.
that's Mandalorians in general. That's
I-
not just the sex. That's Mandalorians in general.
I thought
Yep.
so, but just keep in mind, I don't know as much about Mandalorian culture as you guys do, so I'm just hedging my bets based on what I've seen. But still, yeah. So I actually kind of like this, and this showing that there's a reason why he would know where to point, so that the astromech would understand where he wants to go. That part I actually think is good for what they set
Yep.
up. The fact that
Yeah,
the
it is.
astromech shouldn't even be there is the problem, but him being able to show the astromech, they actually set that up pretty well. Because it actually
Yeah.
makes sense that he'd point out where Bo-Katan was, because if he's showing the star chart, it's like, yeah, and this is where we were when we were last here.
Like I said in the
to give
pre-chat,
references.
like I said in the pre-chat, someone made a meme of him pointing to the astrogation, and there was a big McDonald's M on there.
Yep.
Chicken nuggies and
and-
chalky milk.
And I could see them also doing that just by putting a nugget on there for the nuggies.
A happy meal. A happy meal. Me
Yep.
what?
Someone should get Grogu some dinosaur or mythosaur shaped nuggets.
Hmm. Okay, quick question. With the mythosaur, do we know what a mythosaur looks like?
Have you ever seen the Star Wars cartoon that's in the original holiday special from 1978?
Yeah.
That thing Boba Fett is riding, that's a mythosaur.
Okay, I might need to pull that back up because I don't have that image in my head, but I have seen that.
Well, it's something that John Favreau loves to reference here. Yeah, exactly.
Favreau and Filoni, my favorite people.
Well, it's more than likely that Favreau saw it as a kid when he was growing up, so he's like, "Oh, cool, more Star Wars."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's fine. You'll never be lost. And here we come to one of my issues with R5. Okay, we eject R5, and well, thankfully he does apparently have the sensors needed. But the entire point of him bringing a droid is so that it can go out and collect information. So he doesn't have to leave his starfighter until he's sure it's safe, right? I'm making sense here, right?
Yeah.
Well, to be
Yeah.
fair, the only reason he sent the droid out was to collect a sample to make sure that you could breathe.
Exactly. And so after he does that, because it's such a janky droid, he goes, "Okay, fine, I'll go get him." But wasn't the entire purpose of bringing the droid so you wouldn't do this?
No, I get it.
So, thank you,
It would
Pelly.
have just been easier if he stepped out, grabbed the crystal, and then tested it himself.
Yeah, but the entire point of it was, okay, it might not be safe for me to actually be for me to even get out of the starfighter. So let's let the droid do it. And
Right, but he
that's
ended
why
up doing
he
it
brought
anyway.
Exactly. Because he was given a shit ass droid.
Also, if Din had died due to environmental poison, then Grogu's just stuck there.
Yeah, because the astromech is not in the starfighter, so Grogu
Yeah,
wouldn't
no,
have
the
been able to
astromech
go
the
anywhere.
astromech disappeared. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
if Din didn't come back and the astromech didn't come back, Grogu's stuck there, and he's as good as dead.
Yep.
Well, in a way, he did. Without the astromech,
And one second.
in a way, he would. Yeah, in a way, he did.
Miriam, thank you for coming, and I hope that I wasn't too negative for you, because I know
No,
that you.
she's probably remember it's where it's daytime here, it's nighttime there for her. Like,
Oh no, I'm not saying I think that she's leaving because of that. I was just saying I know that she has a generally more positive view than I
no,
do.
no,
So
Miriam is generally one of those good people
yeah,
that like she can take even like the
okay,
harshest opinions of things.
cool. But that's all I was saying. I was hoping that I wasn't too much of a buzzkill. But
Nah,
but thanks for coming. I really appreciate it. Because I know that there are some people who might see me as a buzzkill, and I just am like, well, she stayed this long, so I figured I probably didn't piss her off too much.
no, she's cool like that. Don't worry about it.
Cool. And I think it does come. I think it is clear that whereas I don't like a lot of stuff, I'm not hating to hate. Or at least I hope that's clear.
I know I get too obsessive with what people say about shit. I'm
Yeah.
trying to work on that, or trying to learn
I-
to at least.
Honestly, you've been getting better at that as far as I'm concerned. You still do make me go really sometimes, but you really are not as
Yeah,
as
no,
worked up
he's
about it
growing
as
in
you used to
learning.
be. Yeah. So
He's growing in learning.
so yeah, just
Yeah, CT's. My impression of CT is he wants to learn what he doesn't know, and he's open-minded to a person
Yeah.
that's closed-minded and doesn't want to know any more than they know. That's the problem.
mhm,
You don't even grow as a person if you can't continuously learn.
mhm. And thank you, Miriam. I appreciate that.
Thanks.
See, what did I tell you? This is part of the reason I like hanging out with her. She's like just
Yeah.
absolutely cool with people, like all the time. That the only time like, and this has happened to her before. Like the only time like she's not cool with people is when they're like attacking her or like farming her for views or something like that.
Yeah, like I said many times, attack the content, not the person.
Yeah, no.
Right.
So yeah, I'm just so annoyed by by the fact that R5 is here and not something and not something that would actually be appropriate for this. So let's go out and do the thing I explicitly brought the droid to do. Face pop.
Yeah.
The droid gets lost, and he just sort of kind of goes out of the ship here. That
I mean, as
it
far as he
hasn't-
knows, the droid just exploded because it ran into an air vent that was toxic to it. And
I didn't. R5 didn't die. No.
No, I said as far as he knows, CT.
Okay.
As far as he knows, it was after it went around the corner, it encountered a toxic room that melted it, and when Din walks around that corner, he'll get melted too. As far as he knows.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to say. The droid is explicitly there to scout ahead for him, so he doesn't have to. So when it goes offline, apparently, he then goes to exactly where it went offline. Really. Thank you, Pelly. Like I said before. Thank you. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, now he gets out and leaves Grogu back there. Grogu's like, I hope you're still okay. And now we come down here and we see the city, which CT was saying was pretty cool, and it doesn't seem that cool to me. It seems more dark than anything else, so it didn't make that much of an impact on me. But if it did on you, that's great. But what I heard, and I'm not making any judgments on you. I'm just saying that was my feeling when I saw it.
Right.
and then the creature growls, and my first thought was, well, mutants, because apparently it was fusion bombed. This place was fusion bombed to death. So
Yep.
radiation.
Again, I was thinking Morlocks from the Time Machine because they look
Yeah.
a lot like the Morlocks from that movie.
hmm And I
No,
honestly
because
started.
like they look like
started
super
singing-
evolved mutants. So.
hmm and I started singing, "The minds are alive with the sound of mutants."
If you notice, they kind of made like clubs and spears out of like the crystalline surface there. So
Yeah. So yeah, this part was mostly fine. Just okay. Yay, we found R2, not R2, R5, and we bring him back, and now we get the analysis after he's already gone in there and everything. Which we're supposed to get this analysis before we even got out of the friggin' starfighter.
Yep.
Again, thank you, Pelly. I think that's going to be my go-to response for much of this episode.
Thank you, Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of crazy, but that planet seems pretty resilient as far as an ecological standpoint.
Yeah. I mean, even though it was glassed within like the last less than 50 years, I think.
Yeah.
You guys would have a better idea of when the purge was than I do, but it was within people's lifetimes. In fact, Bo-Katan makes a point of saying that she was alive when it was still a living planet.
Yep.
So yeah, it's made a remarkable recovery. I mean, with all of that, I would think that with half-lives and everything, that the surface would still be radioactive.
I mean, how long has it been since the Mandalorian, city was destroyed? Really, like
Within less than 50 years.
50 years.
I think it will.
Less than.
I think it got bombed sometime after A New Hope, or maybe even before.
I think it was before, of course, because didn't that stuff happen during the Clone Wars?
Well, most of the stuff, like that bombing with the crystal stuff, that was from the Empire.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm guessing it was either a little before or a little after A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bo-Katan lost to Moff Gideon, who made an example of the planet by bombing it to crystal. So.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, how come we didn't see Rebels explore that, though?
Lack of planning? I mean, I honestly don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they just didn't show it.
Remember that whenever you bring up something to do with Clone Wars or Rebels, I'm probably going to give a glib answer. You'll get better answers from Not So than you're going to get from me.
Okay.
Because we all know how I feel about it.
I'm sorry. Clone Wars was a popular show to a lot of kids. I got introduced to Star Wars.
Don't apologize. I'm laughing
don't
at
worry.
the. I'm laughing
Well,
at the
keep
fact
in mind,
that I'm
CT,
giving the
there were
glib answer.
there were characters in Rebels, like my introduction to Gar Saxon wasn't in TCW, it was in Rebels.
Mhm.
Right.
Before, and then he got introduced in season 7 later. So
Yeah. And CT, I'm just pointing out that we all know what my opinion is. But do you see? Have you noticed that I also ask Not So and you guys questions about TCW when it seems like it's relevant?
Right.
I'm not looking down on people for liking TCW, or at least you guys shouldn't think I am.
Okay.
The only people that I get upset with are the people who try to beat me over the head and try to make me watch it. And I'm
I know better than that. Like, I'm not gonna, like,
Right.
I said the same thing with I said the same thing when it came to JoJo. I'm like, Net, I'm not gonna make you watch it. You have to watch it on your own.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, I have started watching it, and it's more interesting than than it looked the first time I tried it. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a train wreck that you have to experience yourself to
Yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah, well, again, I like the Clone Wars show, but that doesn't mean like everybody else has to like it. Somebody could have like given up after like season 3 or 4, and they're just like, yeah, I'm not really interested in this anymore. And I'm like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to
Well, I
finish
thought-
the show.
And CT,
I was talking about JoJo.
and CT, you've been around with when you've seen somebody try to force me to watch TCW, so you should know what I'm referring to.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that's what pisses me off, not Clone Wars, but not people who like Clone Wars. There's some things in Clone Wars itself that piss me off, admittedly, but that's not the fault of its fans. That's the fault of Filoni. Fucking Filoni. But that's not the fault of the fans. So I'm not going to say you shouldn't like this. It should have been something that was a big part of your childhood. It was part of your childhood. That's great. I'm glad you loved it. If it made your childhood better, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind, CT, I never watched it when I was a kid. I watched it like after Disney bought Star Wars, and I loved it. That was just me.
I didn't even know it existed until around The Last Jedi, to be honest.
I did, and to be honest with you, part of the reason I was like, like when I was younger, kind of younger and dumber, I was like, I've had enough of the Clone Wars. Give me something new.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that some of the other eras, though being in the past, are still very interesting.
Yep.
Like the Old Republic era, or Tales of the Jedi, or stuff like. There's a lot of interesting stuff that happens in those previous eras that you miss out on because you just dismiss it as, oh, it's in the past. Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of interesting stuff there's a lot of interesting stuff that happens after Return of the Jedi in the expanded universe, which is what I specialize in reading. Lots of cool eras there too.
Oh yeah, no. My dad and I are currently on the Black Fleet Crisis trilogy.
That's a good one.
We went through
It
the
is
Crystal
good.
Star recently, and it was not as bad as people said it was. At least in my opinion.
Yeah.
Personally, like after going through stuff like the Mortis Gods, the Alan Moore Devil World comics, and what else was it? Something else. I haven't gone through it, but I know about the stuff with Abeloth. I'm like,
Abeloth is interesting.
Waru sounds tame by comparison.
Yeah.
And then right after we're done with Abeloth, we had the prophecy for the Sword of the Jedi with Jaina, and then Disney comes along and goes, "Yeah, goodbye."
Yeah.
I if nothing else, I would love to. There's some books for the EU that I would love to see, like get official releases, like Heart of the Jedi,
and
Escape from Dagu, which, by the way, William C. Dietz is like, I already got paid for this. I wrote the book. It's up to Disney if they want to release it.
Yeah.
He got fully paid for it, so that if they had gypped him, then he would have released it. Disney be damned.
Mm-hmm. And when people say to the people who like expanded universe that, well, you should just like what you have. It's not like they're getting rid of stuff. It's like, yeah, but the problem is that they actively canceled things that were actually planned.
Yeah.
So when you say
I can see
that you've already got your stuff.
I can see arguments from both ends as to why they don't want to continue.
Financially, I understand why they did it. Honestly, the moment that Disney bought it, I told my wife that, oh crap, the expanded universe is gone. I mean, the moment I heard the news, and then a year later or so, guess what happened? What I said was
decanonized.
Yep.
Yeah, they decanonized.
But because I knew that they were going to have to do it for the way that they were going to be going forward. I wasn't happy about it, but that's what I thought was going to happen. And what happened? What I said was going to happen.
Here's the thing, Here's
Well,
the
I'll
thing,
tell
though.
you.
They could hypothetically continue it if they have people that are actually passionate about it in the company. Because
Oh yeah.
the guys at Marvel released it had a Legends banner on it. Released Marvel issue 108, and from what
Yep.
I've heard from like some people, like it's great compared to
Yep.
issue 107. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And at this point, I think that they could actually do it if they got the right authors behind it. But at the time that they bought the EU, not the EU, well, they bought the EU too. But at the time that they bought Star Wars, it was obvious that they were going to decanonize. At this point, with what they've already done with splitting the fandom, I think it would be a good idea for them to actually publish things back in that era again as a separate timeline.
Oh yeah,
But
no, it would definitely get certain people back to it. I know some
but
people are
but
are stubborn as a mule. They're not gonna jump back in it because they'll think Disney will ruin it.
yeah,
I'm like,
I
That was my
issue
point.
108 is just one example of how it
I
can work well.
That was actually my point. That was actually my point when I said that because they're so arbitrary, they could get away with bringing back the EU.
and for myself, I would give them a chance. If they brought it back and then it was shit, they'd lose me pretty quickly. But I would actually go, cool. Thank you for the books, and I'm gonna check it out right now. And if it's great, or even just really good, I'm gonna get on my channel and I'm gonna tell all the people who give a crap about what I think that they should go watch it, that they should go read it.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
word of mouth is always the best.
Yeah, and that's how I'd feel about it. I would be skeptical about whether they could do it well, but they would have my optimism. I mean, just like I watched some of this stuff, I'll watch it, give them a chance. I've just been disappointed a lot lately.
But again, I've
Like
heard from like both sides why when there's opposition to it, like the part of the reason I think there's opposition to it, at least among some of the EU fans, is again they'll think Disney will ruin it completely, that they won't put the right people behind. And again, that's always a possibility. But if
Yeah.
that does happen, you can pretty much just ignore it as non-canon to yourself, because again, it is the company doesn't consider it official canon anyway, so you can limit it to that point if you really
Yeah.
wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
If it's successful, keep it going. That's great. But again, at the same time, like I'm not sure why there's opposition from the Disney end though. That's what can, like fans of the Disney can. I'm not sure why there's opposition on that end. That's
They
the one
don't
that
want to
confused.
admit that they don't want to admit that the current stuff was enough of a failure that people would want to bring back the older stuff.
Well, one of the proofs of that is they failed big time in a lot of things. Is Bob coming back?
Is what coming back?
Bob Iger.
Bob
Oh
Iger.
yeah, Iger.
Yeah, because he made an announcement that said that the ticket prices are way inflated. He's going to fix that, and he's going to go through and fix the multimedia. Watch, there's going to be some people that are going to be fired.
Now, what I'm going to say about Iger being back is that trusting him to fix things is basically trusting the person who fucked things up to begin with to fix his own.
I know.
Now,
I know,
now,
but he can.
which I'm not saying is impossible. I'm just saying we need to be clear that he's not fixing Chapek's fuck ups. He's fixing his own fuck ups.
Yeah, and that's my point. I think at this point he's seeing where things went wrong on his end and the other people's end, and he's looking at it as like we're bleeding.
And
we're losing
tens
of millions.
If he's able to take ownership of it and look at it that way, then I think he may be one of the better placed people to fix things. But that does require a certain amount of self understanding in that,
Yeah.
that a lot of people who have been as successful as him are not able to muster.
Yeah.
Because look at all my success. That means that I am. So it means that I was right, and somebody else it's somebody else's fault that my vision isn't succeeding.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that is the first egotistical thing that
Is Bob Iger like really a leftist though, or
I don't know, and I actually don't care.
sorry?
I don't think he is.
Whatever you think of his
He's a
political
capitalist.
stance, yeah, he's a capitalist first and
Yes.
foremost, so he's going to choose the most profitable direction.
Right.
I don't know if he's a leftist or not, but he cares about money.
You know, a lot of these corporations that have stockholders and investors and business savvy people that, you know, went with this woke thing and they thought it was going to be something when it ended up not being much. These guys, they're making about faces. They're changing. Every day I hear about a company going against this, and they're going to come to their senses. I always said, if the pocketbook, if that pocketbook hurts enough, they'll change, and they are changing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean,
And-
the reason why Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins aren't getting their Star Wars movies because of how they sort of kind of are learning that going woke is not working.
It's again, CT. It's not just a woke thing. It's
Yeah.
literally of a like
Money thing,
yeah. It's a money thing. Like for example, like
profitability.
no. I'll tell you this much. Like, Patty Jenkins' movie is gone because of money. Kevin Feige's one is gone probably because of timing and money.
Right.
And Andor's been brought down to like one season for probably because again partially because they can't like physically take as much as what they put into season one. But also money.
Yes, money.
All these I saw a Twitter post today saying like Iger's cutting funding to all the shows. He's not like taking all the funding away, but he is cutting out some of the money. So again, it's about money.
Mm-hmm.
If the shows are not profitable, if they're not bringing in the views, if they're not bringing in the Disney Plus money,
Yep. And from a corporate standpoint,
And
whoever
take a look at the screen.
the ones that were behind a lot of this stuff and making policy will be the first to get their heads cut.
Yep. What I said for quite a while about the entire idea about a war, a civil war at Disney is, well, there may or may not be one. But the way that, but the kind of change that, what the thing that would actually cause things to happen would be if what's that? Hey, try hard, no booking. And what would be if the big money people who have lots of shares in Disney looked at the amount of money that they're getting back and went, wait, what the hell's going on here? And sent a team of auditors to come and basically, to come and look at the books and go, holy shit, you guys are not making as much money as you claimed you were here. And then they'd send people in to basically go, okay, who's making money for us and who isn't? And if you're not, you're gone. That's the sort of thing that could actually happen. Not so much the Civil War, but that is how change would happen when the people who have the money realize that they're not making money.
well, you saw what happened over at Warner Brothers.
Warner Brothers, yeah. Mm-hmm.
After they found out a bunch of these people were like just wasting money, a bunch of shows got canceled, and So here's the thing: despite people's complaints about like how Star Wars is, it's not always good at this point. It's not always going to be this way.
Yeah.
Right.
Enough push and funding cut, and people will work for their money.
Hmm.
Right.
Exactly.
You'll get more competent people
Hmm.
because it'll be more competitive.
Yeah.
But there won't
Exactly.
be their ideologies getting in the way of what's right for the company,
Yep.
and that's the only way to fix all this
The
crap.
ideology for a corporation is this: how is this making us money?
Yes.
Is
Is
this
this
wasting
profitable?
money?
And,
If this is profitable, keep it going. If it's not profitable, you're cut. Done. Goodbye.
and the image that I just put up is basically what people at like the CW and at least a part of Disney have been doing. It's not about the money; it's about sending a message, and that only works for so long when
Yep.
you're working at a
No, it's about the money.
when you're working at a publicly traded company. It's about the money.
No,
And
there's
eventually
an old,
that will catch up to you.
there's a. You ever seen the show Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Yes.
They had
Mhm.
Zach Wilde on one time from Rush, and
No,
he
not
was
Rush.
talking to Master
Ozzy.
Shake about like a
Ozzy
no, it was,
Osbourne.
no, Dad, it wasn't Ozzy, it was Zach Wilde.
No, Zach Wilde he's not in Rush. That's the group
Oh,
he played
he's
for.
in Ozzy. Okay, no, but
Yeah.
basically Shake made a music record for him, and he was asking Shake, he's like, "Where's the money? The money you promised for the work I did." He's like, "That's what all it is about the money? I thought it was about the love. I thought it was about the music. No, it's about the money."
Yep.
It's about the music. No, it's about the money.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I can just see, I could just see that narrative when Ted starts to roll at Disney, and then somebody comes out and basically says the opposite. It's really, this isn't the message we're trying to send. We need to be a profitable company so we can still survive. And basically, they're saying in not so many words, it is about the money. It's not about the message.
Yeah. The anti-Joker.
That's right, the anti-Joker.
Okay. So let's get back to this. Because in theory, we're here to talk about the Mandalorian.
Yes, we are.
I think at least. Okay.
We're trying to.
but like I said last stream, I think that anybody who actually watches the streams that I do kind of is kind of intending is kind of wanting to be along for the ride.
Yes.
Because if you
It's
don't
more
know,
interesting.
because if people don't know that I'm like this by now, do you know me?
Right.
Okay, so now we have the Mandalorian helmet. It just kind of buried here. Which at first I was thinking that after they dig it out, I was thinking that was actually a tripwire, which not really. There was just the robot beneath it. Or at least that's what I think it turned out because he picks it up and there's no wires attached or anything. And then the big ass robot comes out, and when the thing came out of the cockpit of it, the thought that I had was, wait. So you've just been lying down there, doggo, for how long? So just hoping that somebody was going to come by. You know what I mean? It's not like it just went down there.
Well, Evo's finally here.
Oh, hey, Evo. Good to see you. And I'm pretty sure he hasn't actually watched it yet, which is why he's not joining the stream. But yeah. Hey, Evo. Good to see you.
Oh, okay. My dad's going to be mute for a while since he's around his grandbabies right now, so.
Well, how dare he?
Oh,
I'm just kidding, obviously.
yeah, of course.
Or at least I hope it's obvious. Okay, so yeah, this robot is kind of cool, but the idea that's been laying doggo like that, if it was just a robot, that's fine. But then a thing comes out of it, like the cockpit, which makes me wonder. Wait, there's something piloting it, and how long has that thing been lying doggo? You know what I mean? Because it's not like they get visitors on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, the eyeball robot.
Yeah, if it's a robot at all, I don't know. I don't know. I'm confused. I have questions that aren't answered.
I think it's like someone's brain and eye or something like that.
Wh-
Kind of what CT suspected.
Yeah, which is kind of what my thought was too. So it still makes me go, wait, a basically living organism has been lying doggo to capture the very many people who come to this planet.
Well, the body looked very similar to Grievous's, other than the weird spiky hackles on the back.
I can kind of see that, but but you see what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah, yeah. It left you with more questions than answers. You're like, what type of thing is scavenging on the planet like this?
Yeah, and just waiting for somebody to come by who is interested in this helmet so it can just scoop it up. This cursed planet that everyone says not to go to. So, yeah.
Like, well, I guess we know what happened to all the other Mandalorians that came here.
Yeah, I guess so. These things must really hate Mandalorians.
Well, it was like it was draining his blood, so clearly it was planning on skinning him and eating him or something.
Yeah. So we have this, which, by the way, also, dang, apparently, is is that Starfighter is really fast because let's send Grogu back out to the Starfighter, so Grogu can go to another planet in the system, land, convince somebody to come back to help. They get back to help in time to save his life.
Yeah, even I was kind of like, yeah, this isn't super duper plausible.
And now we add into this that if we didn't have a motherfucking astromech, Grogu couldn't have gone back for help at all. And they shouldn't have an astromech, as I've made extremely clear throughout this entire stream.
Or they should have had an astromech from the start and shouldn't have bothered trying to get IG-11.
Oh, that too. But but what I'm saying is that the only reason why they have an astromech is because, thank you, Pelly, you, you decided to cheat Din. And the fact that you decided to cheat your friend is the only reason why you have the plot device that allows Grogu to go ask for help. Thank you, Pelly.
Yeah, it's like one negative action causes many positive reactions.
Yeah. And by the way, if this had happened like a couple episodes down the road, I wouldn't be bitching about this. It's that it happened and then immediately, it was needed. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so R5 shows that it was completely the wrong droid for the job by making Mando need to get out of the get out of the starfighter to begin with, which was the explicit reason why they brought the droid. And then, for a reason that has nothing to do with why they brought the droid, it saves his ass. I'm sorry, I call Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah, kind of is.
I mean, it doesn't it's not a perfect fit, but it's the best best label I can give to my objection here, because it really feels like the writer's going, "Hey, hey, guess what?" And I was not amused. So yeah. Now,
Din got saved after being screwed.
yeah, by being screwed. He got saved by being screwed. When he should have been smarter than to actually accept what she was giving him. Because he was dumb enough to accept and be cheated by his friend, he was saved.
Yeah.
He was saved by his own stupidity and gullibleness. Which, by the way, I didn't think that somebody who started out as one of the best bounty hunters, one of their traits should be gullible.
Yep.
And Din's gullible. And that's not just this episode. Oh dear Lord, that could be a video I could make going through, but then I'd have to watch all of them again to actually get it. Yeah. But I could do a montage showing just how gullible Mando is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not impressed with the idea of I was saved by my own stupidity, and that's what it feels like.
My own stupid decision that got me here in the first place is also what saved me.
Woohoo! And frankly, if the Mandalorian was intended as a comedy, that would actually work, because that's actually a comedic trope that kind of works. But other than Pelly, this is not a comedic show. At least that's how I see that's how I see it. So yeah.
No, what you say makes sense. At least but yeah, no. If it were a comedy, I could see justification. But people are supposed to be taking this like seriously.
Yeah, and Pelly, there is a place for comedy relief. Do not get me wrong. So Pelly does have a place in this show, but the way that the comedy relief is used is not done well, in my personal opinion.
I get you.
So yeah, now we have this, which, by the way, CT, you still here?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay. So I know I was just shitting right on this robot a bit, but this is one of the things that you were saying was actually pretty cool. So I thought you might actually want to weigh in here.
Well, I sort of kind of, it would be interesting to sort of see what the actual thing was really.
Yeah, that's something that I was really hoping to see, to be honest. Because in the chat that I was in with Natsu, I was talking about, I actually didn't comment on it right as I was watching, because I was like, okay, I'm not going to comment on it because, okay, I want to give it time. This thing looks cool. I want to know more about this before I say anything, before I come at it. I want to know more about this, because I was actually interested. I wanted to know more. And then I was just like, well, okay, that was the thing.
Yeah.
But the design looks cool.
Yes.
I have no disagreements with you on that. Okay, so I wasn't trying to lure you into a trap or anything like that. It was just one things that you highlighted that you thought was good, so I just thought that you might want to weigh in. That's all.
Okay. My weighing is this. I'm like, I wasn't expecting the trap, but I was expecting Din to expect the trap.
That's not a bad point. Again, Din, the gullible bounty hunter. Woohoo!
Again, well, he's not even a bounty hunter at this point, since he hasn't brought in a bounty since the Book of Boba Fett.
No, you are correct there, but I'm saying that is his history. So
the gullible former bounty hunter, right?
Right, and as a former expert bounty hunter, because you couldn't be a bounty hunter and not be good at your job. So a gullible bounty hunter is actually possible. Just they're not going to be regarded by people like Grief Karga as
Well, judging by his previous history, he is good at his job.
no. That's literally my point. Literally my point. That if you were a gullible bounty hunter, you wouldn't be having Grief Karga up your ass saying you're so awesome. So, according to his history, he shouldn't be gullible. But according to what we see, he's gullible.
Actually, you know what? There is a history of this happening. There was also that time where he was on the
No, not so.
the quarren boat. And...
No, stop for a sec. I'm saying his history pre-show. Because that's what we're led to believe is Manda. Because when he's introduced to us as an expert bounty hunter that Grief Karga trusts with the most sensitive stuff. That's the history that I'm saying. And then what I was saying just a little bit ago was that I could do a montage of stuff throughout all the seasons of Mandalore that we have, showing how gullible he is, which contradicts the assumption that he was one of the best bounty hunters, because you wouldn't be one of the best bounty hunters if you were gullible.
Yeah.
That was my point. I agree that we have a history of him being gullible in what we've seen. But his history, which predates what we've seen, indicates that he shouldn't be gullible.
Yeah, because of how many people he brought in.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So this goes to what you were saying, that you didn't expect the trap, but after we saw that it was a trap, you would have expected Din to expect a trap.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be an expert bounty hunter. He's supposed to have those skills honed.
Because he'd be dead by now otherwise.
He should see a tripwire trap coming.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, especially since he's already had to fight at least one enemy, so he knows that there are.
Here's the thing: I can kind of justify the sail barge with the well, not the sail barge, but the water skiff from season 2. But this is a little harder to justify because again, he picked up the helmet.
Yeah. He should be wary of everything at this point. At this point in this adventure, I mean, that's why he originally brought a droid, so he could have something scout ahead, right? Because he was trying to be ultra careful. Then suddenly he's just wandering around, randomly picking things up. Doop-de-doop-de-doop.
Yeah.
God, the more I'm talking about this, the more I was just annoyed with my Deus Ex things and Ellie before, and now I'm getting more annoyed.
No, I kind of get it. I don't agree with everything about it, but I do kind of get why you'd be a little frustrated, especially in this instance.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you have to agree with all my criticisms. Just I do think that I'm being reasonable when I say this stuff.
You're certainly not being unreasonable.
But also, one thing to always remember is that even the best bounty hunter, the best of whatever, is still a human. So the thing that I think could have made this be a little bit more understandable would be if we saw him look a little bit more odd about being on Holy Mandalore or something like that. So he's because this is kind of, I'm actually here, and that could excuse a lot, to be honest. But I don't get that feeling from him that he is like just so amazed to be here. But if that were the case, that would actually excuse a lot.
Yeah, I get you.
Oh, and your dad's back. Hello.
Yeah, he obviously dropped out of communicate because he was hanging around with his niece, my nieces.
Oh yeah,
No, yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna put on my my headset.
sounds good. Out of curiosity, what for all of you, when you talk about having a headset on, is it like having a Bluetooth headset on? Is it having like earphones on? Or is it like I have where it's a full-on gaming headset where I have a boom mic that I have come down?
For
No,
me, it's shifting my earphones while talking into.
That's kind of what I thought. For myself, I'm using a full-on gamer headset. And it's fine. I'm not judging. I was just curious because words mean different things to different people when you say headset. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So yeah. So now that I'm done spurging out a bit here, I suppose we should probably move forward a little bit. I'm trapped. Help! And and I do have to give the little spider droid brain thing credit that it did actually disarm it, because so many times when you see people get trapped in things like this, they don't actually bother disarming them, and you're like, I want to kill you because because why didn't you disarm them? And it did actually disarm Din. So props for that. That actually deserves some credit. But I hate giving credit for just passable writing, if you know what I'm saying. Because I mean, it didn't let him keep the dark saber at his side, so good on it. And now Grogu's down here going, "Arr," and go get help, Lassie. Go, Lassie, go for help.
Yeah, I did kind of get that vibe. Go get Bo-Katan. Go get help.
Yeah. So then he speeds all the way back, which honestly, I actually did kind of like this sequence, to be completely honest. It was kind of cute and cool seeing him just speeding back, and then oh no, he's got a problem. Then he force throws the guy in front of him. So good on him for that. I I did kind of like the chase sequence coming back, to be 100% honest. That was cute, and it showed that he actually did. And when he did the throw, it kind of showed that he had some. Uh, I, I I'm blanking out on the actual term, but uh, like volition, that that he actually has his own ability to do things. It wasn't just that he was speeding back in his levitating thing. He actually did something,
Yeah.
and that I liked. That he did something that wasn't just piloting it. He then used an ability that it and we know that he learned due to what we've seen in Book of Boba Fett, not Mandalorian, but which is why I call this season 3, episode 3.5.
Uh,
Because we wouldn't know that he could do that without that, right?
Hmm.
Hell, we wouldn't even know why he's back with why he's back with Mando if we didn't see Book of Boba Fett. So there's that. Shameless self plug for one of my first videos that I actually made on my channel. And now we see the astromech that shouldn't be there in the background. And oh dear lord, the way that this is looking, I didn't even think about it when I was first watching. I talked about the history of Deus Ex Machina, right? The god from the machine being on the pulley coming down.
oh, jeez.
R5 is just up there in the background there. It's almost like it's on a pulley above him. I mean, that means nothing. Just with me explaining the origins of the term, that just hit me as funny. Yeah, now, wee. Where do we go? Where do we go? And then babbling. And like I said, I don't really think that I don't really think that that was babbling. That was just a coup. Not
Did,
all.
did anyone catch the? I mean, it could just be an editing error or something. But did anyone catch that Grogu jumps out of the pod and into the cockpit, and then like just kind of takes off after that, basically leaving the pod behind.
Oh God, I didn't
And
even
then-
think about that. What? One
And then
sec.
he suddenly has the pod again when he's with Bo-Katan.
Typically, I'm safe to do this for like about 6 to 7 seconds. So I think that this should show us, okay? And actually, feel free to keep talking while I'm doing this, because that'll make it better.
Yeah,
Okay.
you'll see in a minute.
So yeah, and now and now he jumps like that.
Yeah,
Okay, and
and he goes straight to pointing, and
Yep.
there's never a scene of his thing coming back in because the
Yep.
immediate scene following is the dome closing and the monster trying to the little lizard trying to bite at it.
Yep. So
So he never put the pod back inside.
So I'm going to I'm going to play the next few seconds in with me pausing in way too often, just to make sure that we don't get whacked.
Yeah, I get you.
But I'd like to show this because that isn't something because that's not something that I caught myself actually.
I caught
And
it first time I watched it.
and-
I'm like, oh my
and
god, really?
And you know how anal I am, so you're probably a little surprised that I didn't.
I am a little surprised. I'm like, wait, you didn't catch that?
No, I didn't actually.
See, right there, he
Yeah,
points to the thing.
He points,
He's like, let's go, we'll go this way, we'll go this way.
and we never
The
see
dome
it come in.
immediately starts closing,
Yeah,
and then the lizard attacks.
And it's clear that it's closed because the lizard attacks and you can't get in.
Yeah. So how did he get the pod back inside?
Yeah.
Short answer, he didn't.
Uh
So
huh.
unless Din's N1 Starfighter is just full of baby pods that float around,
Yeah. That's a
That's-
really
that's-
good point, Natsa.
it's a minor logic error, but it's
But-
there.
But it's minor, but it's major in its own way because as time was of the essence.
Yeah.
So, since time was of the essence, it's important that there wasn't time to get that in. So, if Grogu got to Bo-Katan and then couldn't leave the starfighter, and Bo-Katan would have to pick him up or whatever, I mean, it has repercussions.
Well, it implies that Bo-Katan, like, if that wasn't the case, because again, she goes to the fighter and sees him. She's
Right.
like, where is he? It implies that Bo-Katan had a baby pod just waiting.
That looked exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
But the point that I was actually making was that if they had done this logically and that was intentional, then that could have made a big thing where she would have had to have carried him through the mines. So this one small thing could have
That
had
would have been
major,
interesting.
yeah, it could have had major major repercussions on the rest of the episode. The fact that he didn't have time to reclaim the pod, and these little things change big things. So that is a really good point. So yeah, kudos.
Yay! I make a big point.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I didn't even I just thought it was a little error. I didn't realize it was a big enough error for you to point out.
yeah, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, it didn't even occur to me, but now that you pointed out to me, I'm like, damn it. That's something that if they had a good enough writing team, they could have ran with. because that didn't need to be a mistake. That just needed to be addressed.
Well,
and
they
and
didn't address any of the other problems, so what makes you think they're going to address this one?
oh, I know.
And again, most average everyday fans, they don't care. They're just
I
like,
like
oh, baby jump, yay!
I like to pretend that Disney has enough money to hire good writing staff, and they just don't bother hiring good writing staff.
I'm guessing. Well, I think they do have the money. That's not up for debate. I think they
No,
do
no,
have the money.
no.
They just
And that's my point. So they just don't bother doing it
yeah.
because they have the capability to do good, which is why I keep watching, going, "Come on, please, this time be good." I know you guys can do it. We're not talking people who don't have the money. You have the money. Get the people. Because I shouldn't be needing, because frankly, I'm not. My specialty is in mathematics and computer science, not this. Their
Not
people should,
writing.
Dude,
right.
when it comes to
Their people should be better than me, is what I'm trying to say.
you have to remember when it comes to Hollywood, like two things occur. You fail upwards, and it's not
Hmm.
what you know, it's who you know.
Which is the Dilbert principle.
Yep.
So yeah, that was interesting. Thanks for pointing that out. Jesus.
Hmm.
I wasn't trying to. I'm serious. I wasn't even trying to give you ammunition for the show. I was just like, it's something I noticed.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you were, but damn. But after you pointed out it, and then I just ran with that. Do you see what I mean by the small things matter?
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Which, by the way, in the video that I'm making about that friggin' viral equation and
Oh
PEMDAS,
yeah.
I actually have a line in my script where I say the small things matter. Because just because the fact that the fact that with PEMDAS it makes it look like you do multiplication before division, as opposed to do it correctly where multiplication and division are the same. That one small little misunderstanding changes the answer from 1 to 9. The small things matter.
It's like what was that? What was that equation that Edie came up with in Mass Effect 3? She says there's the possibility of a universe where 1 + 1 = 3. Like
Yeah.
every fundamental principle of the universe is shifted at that point.
By the way, I can actually tell you how 2 + 2 can equal 3.
Go
That is
for it.
possible. 2 + 2 doesn't equal 5, but 2 + 2 can equal 3. Okay, to make 2 + 2 equal 3, it has to be. It's not base 4. Crap, I don't have it off the top of my head, but you can do it. It has to do with the base of the system you use, because we always use base 10. But if you were to do 2 + 2 base 3, if it was 2 + 2, actually, if it was 2 + 2 base 4, then then 2 + 2 would equal 10. Yeah, you can do weird things when you play with the base, but that is not what we're ever talking about when we're talking about people who go 2 + 2 = 5 or any of that shit. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, that was more of a meme of like, oh, this guy's an idiot.
Oh yeah, but there are ways to play around with stuff, because as the assumption when you put the stuff out is that it's base 10, and if you play with the base, you can come up with some really weird stuff if you don't bother to say what base you're using.
Yeah.
But Math is not subjective. That's my big thing. It ain't subjective. 2 plus 2 equals 4, assuming that assuming that it's base 10. Go away. I have strong feelings. I have a master's in computer science. You tell me that math is subjective, and I tell you to fuck right the hell off. And I tell you that, and then I tell you that you have nowhere that you have either been failed by your teachers, or you should stop teaching.
Mm.
Which is another point that I put in my video where I'm saying, I don't blame the student, I blame the teacher.
The teacher screwed up, and now the student's paying for it.
Right, because either the teacher taught it wrong, or the teacher didn't, or the teacher, when doing homework or tests, didn't do it in such a way that they could see that the student misunderstood, so they could correct it. Either way, the teacher is at fault, and they should never use PEMDAS to begin with. So yeah, I have feelings. So yeah, for anybody, which I know there isn't anybody watching right now, but anybody who watches this on the replay, get ready for my videos, because I've got a video that I've got and that's going to be coming out, and a short that's very snarky. And JG, just so you know, I would like it if you stuck around after I end the broadcast, because I just like to show it to you, so I can see what you think of it. So yeah.
No, so back to
Oh, exactly.
the adventure.
Yeah, that was my book ending that. That's exactly what I was doing. Back to the adventure. Now we're back here. And Bo-Katan. Oh crap, Mando's back. Let's go and tell him to just go away and leave me alone. Jesus, go away. Stop bothering me about your hokey religions. And I am paraphrasing.
That's a little TLJ, Luke.
Well, no, I was thinking about Han. What I was saying in that leave me alone about your hokey religion. But I want to be left
No,
alone.
not that, but I'm talking about the go away.
That, yes, which I get, but she also did not leave the universe to burn and say, leave me alone.
Yeah, true.
That is not TLJ Luke.
Again, I think the biggest difference still is that she actually tried to do things over and over again, and after so many failures, she's like, "Yeah, screw it."
She tried, and also she was literally abandoned herself. She didn't abandon it. The thing is that she was the abandonee, not the abandoner.
Yeah.
So it's almost like the opposite of TLJ Luke. So no, this is not Jake Katan. This is kind of the opposite of what happened there. So, as someone who does not give a shit about TCW or Rebels, I will actually go to bat for Bo-Katan not having that, with that not being the case. Yeah, would you expect me to actually be going to bat for somebody from TCW? But I honestly believe that when people were explaining that, oh no, they TLJ Luke her, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? So yeah, I actually had nothing but defense for her there. And she's coming up expecting to tell him to just fuck right the hell off and go away. Because I don't care that you want to go down and bathe yourself in the water that I personally know is just water. Because that's why I think that she just never cared about helping him, because she's like, I've been there. People made a big deal about it when I bathed in it, and I can tell you, it's just water. Go away. That's why I think that she's like, why she was like, I'm not going to go, because Why should I help you do something so stupid? But she likes him enough that when she realized that his life is actually on the line, that, that she's like, he saved my life in the past. I'm not going to leave him. I'm not going to leave him stranded.
Yeah.
So, whereas I completely understand why she didn't go with him to begin with, I think it is reasonable for her to go get him now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Mandalorians are about honor and all that, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, she's not obligated to do it, but the fact that she is doing it is good.
Yeah. I mean, if she had thought about it for a moment, I think that might have been better. Like kind of having to see her just kind of thinking about it for like what 2 seconds, and yeah, I'm going to go help.
Yeah.
But it seems in character to me.
Good
Now,
enough, at least.
a point that I make is that she's going and leaving the starfighter here, which means that when she gets there and rescues him, if she just left, he'd still be stuck there.
Yep.
Just saying.
No, I agree.
And we can see that R5 is in here, because for a moment I was thinking, but what if R5 piloted at the back? But no, R5 is in her vehicle,
Uh-huh.
which her vehicle is so much better than what than that N1 starfighter for.
The ship she has is a Mandalorian gauntlet.
Yeah, which would be so much better suited for Din than what he's using.
It kind
Just
of would
saying.
be, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it kind of would be.
Mm-hmm. By the way, I absolutely love things like X-wings and those starfighters stuff with the astromechs. It just isn't the right vehicle. It really isn't.
Again, your problem isn't the ship. It's just like, maybe if Din had a bigger ship and he kept the fighter in that ship.
Exactly. Actually, almost exactly, because in Cowboy Bebop they had something almost exactly like that. They kind of had a cargo hauler, and then Spike had a actual fighter that would launch from it.
Yeah, I remember he put on his flying gloves each time.
Yeah. So Spike would actually be like, okay, we need to do this, and he'd go and he would launch from their cargo ship because they were fucking bounty hunters. Ah, there.
No. You make sense.
Sorry, just annoyed.
No, that would have been the smart direction.
Mm-hmm. And it's not like Din is scraping by. He has friends in high places. That's the thing that gets me. If he was scraping by and this is what was available, fine. But he's not scraping by. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've got our first ASX out of the way. Coming down. And
Deus ex machina.
yep. And now we have Grogu leading her. Which, by the way, I do kind of like her entire outfit and everything with her helmet and all that stuff. She looks pretty cool.
Well, her design is pretty much just her design from the
From
Clone Wars
TCW.
cartoon and Rebels. So
which I've seen, and I'm this is actually me giving a little bit of praise that they actually you do seem to have replicated the look. I know this may seem weird, me giving praise, but still. I can do that. This is a once beautiful civilization, and that's a nice character moment for her. Because whereas I don't really see much beauty here, seeing it through her eyes, and and remembering what she once saw here, that's a nice moment.
Yeah.
But now remember, her Din is currently being drained of blood. Well, she's sitting here admiring the city. Just saying. Oh, this once was a beautiful city. Ah! Below. Just saying. Oh, and I didn't mention it before because, as with the clips that I'm just bouncing through, it did miss the actual fight with the dark saber. We obviously saw Din struggling with the dark saber because it was really heavy for him, and and in this upcoming scene, we see her wield it flawlessly. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Which I don't
It
have a
did.
problem with. This isn't something that I'm saying I have a problem with. I'm saying that it seems that it was done intentionally. And to my understanding, is somebody yawning?
That was me.
Not allowed.
Sorry.
Nope. There's no yawns allowed. Not at all.
Sorry.
I had a yawn, but mine was much
TT, I'm
quieter.
joking. Please don't take me too serious when I say things like that.
No, it's always no, you made that joke. You made that joke earlier. I think it was yesterday or earlier today, when I said sorry I was busy at work, and you hit me with like the newspaper. No work.
Yep. Please don't take me seriously when I say shit like that. I mean, yawn
Yeah,
is a
no, even
bodily
I know he's
function.
joking.
Yeah, come on. But so yeah, it's interesting to me that they juxtapose within the same episode Din fighting with how heavy it is, and then Bo-Katan just wielding it like it's a normal lightsaber. And and I've seen I've seen it go the gamut of people saying it's just a lightsaber that has a really weird color in it, to it's a lightsaber that actually has enough significance, so it matters about. I forget the exacts, but it has to do with philosophy. And the way that I've decided to look at it is that the dark saber, or which was wielded by, was it actually the Mandalore? Is that who theoretically had the first dark
No,
saber?
no, the Mandalore that had it was like the first and only
Jedi
Mandalorian
man.
Jedi, which was Tar Vizsla.
Okay, Tar Vizsla, thank you. And the way that I've chosen to see it until anyone tells me until anyone shows me anything canon otherwise, is that Tar Vizsla, uh, uh, as a Force sensitive, bonded so closely with this lightsaber that Tar Vizsla, just like Sith in the past, have bonded to objects. That Tar Vizsla is actually he bonded to the dark saber, and Tar Vizsla is what is being fought against or not when wielding the dark saber. That's just my own personal head. It's
It's
my own
not
personal head canon.
that, but I get you. It's not that the whole reason why it's weighty,
But
and
but but
this is the
wait,
whole
but weighty for some and not others. That's the thing that you need to bring into whatever you're about to say. Weighty for
well
some,
here
not
well
others.
the whole reason the lightsaber is weighty is because it's that a lightsaber. Like even
No,
Sabine in Rebels had to
no.
train to use it before she could.
Oh, a lightsaber is already heavy. They are always heavy.
Yeah,
That is true.
but
But but
the more you use it, the easier it. And clearly,
but that's
Bo-Katan has
not
had practice, more
but
practice
that's
than
not
Din.
what we've seen with the dark saber. The dark saber has not always been this heavy for Din. It's gone back and forth. It is weighty sometimes, not other times. It unlike other lightsabers, it actually changes based on what's going on. And that's why my headcanon is that Tar Vizsla is attached to it, because there is some sentience to this dark blade.
I still don't buy that, but we'll see. They might try to pull something like that in the current canon.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm completely correct. I'm just saying that it fits what I've observed, is what I'm trying to say, and it fits what people have sent me about the Darksaber from Clone Wars and Rebels.
I needed some space.
What?
I did in space.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh no, my niece followed me into here, so.
Oh, okay. Okay, so keeping on going, unless somebody else has something they want to say about that. Oh yeah, did you think your dad was only Mandalorian? Your dad brought him to see you, Bo-Katan. Of course, you didn't. Of course, Grogu didn't think that your dad was only Mandalorian. He told you otherwise.
This is the way. This is the way.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we say to avoid actual arguments or disagreements.
Mm-hmm.
The Darksaber is connected to the wielder,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the lightsaber.
Well, yes.
And
Because
that's why
I've been told that the Darksaber is just a lightsaber, just a different color. But then it acts differently than lightsabers act. So, okay.
that has different properties.
Yeah. So the people who tell me it's just a lightsaber with different color are obviously wrong.
Yeah. No, that's just a misconception.
Yeah. And so it seems to me like everybody is operating on less information than is actually out there. So that's why I feel okay with saying what my headcanon is. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying that that's how I choose to look at it until I'm told otherwise. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It does.
But as you guys know, I am not one to substitute my own headcanon for fucking canon.
All right. Well, let me let me tell you one thing that
Okay.
look at it like have you ever like done karate or kendo or whatever?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like it's metaphorical when someone says, "Oh, the blade is an extension of yourself." Like this.
Yeah.
It's not really it's really long sharp arm or something like that.
Yeah.
Apply that logic to the Darksaber and you'll understand everything.
No. Because then that would actually also go for lightsabers. Yeah.
Kanan in Rebels said while he was saber dueling with Sabine, she says the blade feels lighter. He says you're connecting with it. It's becoming a part of you.
Yes, and that's where some of my headcanon's coming from, dude.
Oh, jeez.
Because you're connecting.
I don't buy it, but it
you're-
wouldn't surprise me if
you're-
Disney did
you're-
something that dumb.
You're connecting with Tar Vizsla.
Yeah.
Because these are some things that were sent to me when I had asked about details.
By that logic, dude, every time Luke used his dad's lightsaber, it meant he was connecting with his dad.
No, it actually doesn't, because his lightsaber never did this weird thing of I'm heavier now, I'm lighter now, I'm heavier now. It was always a lightsaber. It was just a lightsaber. I'm saying that the Darksaber is special because it has something attached to it. Luke's father did not invest into his lightsaber. So obviously that wouldn't be the case there.
It still sounds weird and illogical, but so is a lot of Star Wars. So,
do you know what I'm talking about when I say that there's the thing about the Sith where they invest into objects?
Hmm. It is a dark saber.
Tar Vizsla was a Jedi.
I don't
not a
care.
Sith.
I'm talking about Force users. Sith
Yeah.
are Force users, and Tar Vizsla may have been a Jedi, but he was also a Mandalorian.
Hmm.
I'm betting, had a different view than his fellow Jedi on what is appropriate to do with the Force.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not. I'm
I
not
still
saying he
don't
was
buy
using
it,
the.
though.
I'm not saying he was using the dark side of the Force. I'm saying that one of the things that can be done with the Force is to invest yourself. The Sith do that because they don't believe in in going in, into the light. But if Tar Vizsla wanted to invest this dark saber as something to unify his people with, I don't think that Tar Vizsla would have seen that as a problem because I'll be around to help lead my people for ages to come.
I still don't buy it, but I guess it's a decent headcanon.
Yeah, and that's all I've ever said it is. It's a headcanon. I am not saying I'm right, and in the slightest. It's just this is the best that I've come up with for myself from everything that I've had shown to me. And I haven't really heard anything that would make me think otherwise. And it's the only thing that makes sense to me with the way that they're showing it. But again, like I said earlier, I hope that the people that Disney can afford to hire are better at writing than I am.
Here's the thing: they can afford to hire them. They just choose
No,
not to.
but that's my point. I hope that they can choose that they can hire someone that can actually come up with something that I'll go, damn, yeah, my headcanon was shit.
So that's the dream. There.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say. This is my headcanon, and if they actually, yeah, if they actually have writers that are better than me at this, I'm going to say that's awesome.
And come back to Star Wars then.
We never left Star Wars, dude.
Okay.
Now, if you want to say coming back to this episode, that's more accurate.
Okay.
But we never left Star Wars. We were talking about lightsabers and Sith and all that stuff. I mean, what wasn't Star Wars about that?
Lightsabers.
I mean, lightsabers are awesome. I love lightsabers.
No,
Remember,
I jokingly say it like they said in that Red Letter Media Rogue One video. Lightsabers.
I haven't watched that because I don't watch Red Letter Media because they are hacks.
You don't need to watch the whole thing, but there's a little clip where they pretty much describe how people reacted to Rogue One.
Oh, like lightsabers. Woo. Huh? Okay.
Did.
I just don't. Keep in mind, Red Letter Media is also Plinkett. And what did I say earlier? I think that I heard CT in the background. Like, no, there's a reason I don't pay attention to Red Letter Media because they are actually the people that I don't like.
I know.
No, I get it.
So yeah. Anyway, as CT was saying, back to the show. And by the way, CT, just so we're clear, I've never meant to use you as a sort of punching bag. If you ever feel like I'm doing that, because I don't intend it.
Oh, it's fine.
I hope you don't feel like I do that.
No.
The silence speaks volumes. I'm sorry, because I don't mean to. I don't mean to. Okay. Well, moving on. So yeah, now Bo-Katan comes down and saves Mando, which I don't really mind that she saves him. Again, my issue is that she shouldn't have known to come to save him. It's not that it's a she; it's that she shouldn't have even been here to save. That's all. So yeah. Now, now, what I do like with her picking up the dark saber is that after it had and and didn't disarm Din, it was like, okay, he can't get to them anyway, so it just left them there. So she was able to pick it up and go after them all, and that was actually good, I think. And again, I think it was interesting that it showed just how effortlessly she wielded them, and it did look to be like it was very clear that Din was having a problem with the actual physical weight of it, where she was just able to wield it like a regular lightsaber. But again, I could be wrong, but that's what it looked like to me. It looked like a physical issue of weight, not an issue of whether you're practiced with it or not.
Yeah, it had to, it harkens back to the whole lore of the sword itself that was explained to Din way back in last season.
Yeah, and I was actually meaning to go back and look after this, but frankly, I was watching Megan earlier today, and then I was scripting another video, so I actually didn't get to going back and looking at that. But
Yeah.
but I kind of wanted to go back and look at what exactly was explained to him, and I don't remember exactly what it was. So
Yeah, when he had the saber, don't you remember the other Mandalorian there, where they wanted the saber, and he had to kind of he kind of lost it.
oh
You
god,
remember that part?
now that I think about it, this was in the Book of Boba Fett, wasn't it? Because
when he fought Vizsla. He
yeah.
actually he kind of lost the fight.
And I actually okay, I can't pull it up unless you guys would want me to. But I'm pretty sure I included that in my review of that very specific episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I'd even need to go find the episode. I just need to go back to my own video and refresh myself, because I was snarking at it at that point.
Yeah.
I think he was still struggling with the dark saber then.
Oh, he
Yeah.
was. Oh, don't get me wrong. He was struggling. I'm just pointing out that he was struggling very clearly with the weight of it, not with how well he could use it.
Yeah.
I think the only reason Bo-Katan isn't, and this is my view, the only reason because she's already had plenty of practice with it.
Yeah, having plenty of practice doesn't mean that weight doesn't matter anymore. I mean,
you'd be surprised.
No, you're talking to someone who has actually done heavy weapons fighting. The things that we saw him doing was having trouble lifting it up, not making clumsy swings, which that would be the issue there. He was having trouble lifting it.
I think of it in terms of Milner, where is he worthy of it?
Is he worthy of it? And what would make him worthy of it and be able to use it? Something invested into it.
Yeah.
Because there would need to be something judging him, and there is something judging him. Something invested into the saber.
Yeah, because it is, even though it was made by a Mandalorian Jedi, it's still a dark saber.
All roads keep leading back to my headcanon.
Yeah, I guess so. No, I think if Net's headcanon is to be believed, let's say hypothetically that it is, it's probably that he has to get over like his big hill is to get over the whole cult thing.
Yes, I would actually completely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
once
so.
he gets over the cult thing, suddenly the saber will be much easier for him to use.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's limited.
It's like the thing that's holding him back or something.
So kind of like a similar obstacle that everybody has to face within themselves here.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what it is.
It has to do with him. It has to do with him getting outside of what he knows as possibilities. Mm-hmm. Right now, he's stuck in that circle, and he thinks that's it.
Yeah. Oh, and just one thing to kind of cater a little bit to what you were saying earlier, not so when you're saying, but he was a Jedi and not Sith. if this were full Sith sort of thing, we'd see the Darksaber trying to actually control the wielder.
Yeah.
And that is not what we're seeing. We're seeing the Darksaber resist the wielder.
A Sith
So-
can easily control the saber though, because we know Maul's used it.
Yes, but the point, well, yeah, and that would actually be showing a Force user being able to overcome another Force vestige, whereas Din is not any sort of a Force user. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And a Sith would be able to, if they've invested into something, in actually actively take over the user. And that is not what I'm saying that the Darksaber is doing, and
Yeah.
and that we've never seen it do. It is just resisting. So, your point to the fact that Tar Vizsla was a Jedi, of course he wouldn't be using the Sith takeover sort of thing. So
Yeah.
so this is more, he invested himself into the relic to help lead, but he's only helping lead. He's not like, I shall be reborn.
Yeah, no,
Sort-
it's
sort
not
of
like a
thing.
Sith object where it would possess the user.
Yeah, but I was just pointing out with the Sith thing that that the Sith objects show that the investiture is something that can be done with the Force, even though Jedi would not typically do this. But Tar Vizsla is hardly a typical Jedi.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So that's where I'm coming from with this. I'm not saying
yeah,
that Tar Vizsla did a Sith thing. It's that Tar Vizsla did something that the Sith proved could be done with the Force, but is using it differently.
Yeah, no, I get it.
May I interject?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, Jedi's. The roots of a Jedi is peaceful transition into weaponry and being a warrior. But
Mhm.
because this Jedi was already a master and also a warrior as a Mandalorian, that a
Exactly.
warrior, the heart of a warrior, can wield that dark saber.
Yep.
I think Din doesn't have the full heart of a warrior because he's been a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I could actually see that. Yeah.
Well, not just because he's been a bounty hunter. Like, yeah, again, he's a follower of the cult. He's not
Yeah,
a leader.
yeah, he's a follower, not a leader, and
Yeah.
that's what the dark saber needs: is somebody who can lead, one way or the
Mhm.
other.
Yeah. And again, we were just shown just how easily she wielded that thing.
But she's a leader.
Exactly. So yeah. So yeah, my thoughts on the dark saber, and refined a bit by what both of you have said with it, but I still stand behind what I think, but both of your perspectives have refined my headcanon on it.
It's just it's an interesting. To be honest with you, now that I'm thinking about it, it is kind of an interesting theory.
Yeah, and again, I'd like to make it very clear: it is only a theory, a Star Wars
Yeah.
theory.
A Star Wars theory. No, so let's proceed with what happens next. Obviously,
Exactly. That's why I was just paging through a little bit.
where they're walking through the long dark of Moria.
Yep.
Seriously, one of the doorways in there looked like, I'm like, was this built by the dwarves of Moria?
And with her saying that, yeah, I've been to the Living Waters. It's nothing big. I've already done it. It's like,
There was a
that's what I was
moment
saying.
there that actually got Bo-Katan to flinch. When
Really?
she mentions to Din, she says, "My father died protecting Mandalore," and he literally just looks over and goes, "This is the way." And it was like,
Oh yeah.
it wasn't like disrespectful of her. It was like honoring her father's memory, which I thought was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it caught her off guard. I'm like, whoa.
Oh, by the way, I've said that there are two Deus Ex Machinas. I'm actually going to bring it down to 1.5 because
Really?
honestly, well, yeah, it's a half because because it still comes right back to R5, so it's the same cause. So it doesn't really deserve to be another full Deus Ex, but Bo-Katan should not be here. Bo-Katan is only here because R5 was here. Because R5 was able to go back to get Grogu. So I mean, Grogu was able to use R5 to go back to get Bo, right?
Okay, so it's
And
only 1.5 Deus Ex Machina in that regard.
right, because the inciting cause of it is the same as the first, so it shouldn't be counted as another full one.
Yeah,
But
no, it's pretty much just one singular cause with a couple similar effects.
yeah, but if he had just come here like he had originally planned to with IG-11, he'd be dead here if he got down to here, because he goes in, he gets his baptism all right. But if she weren't here to dive in to get him, he'd be
Not
dead.
necessarily, because he kind of has like an air apparatus inside of his helmet.
You're not wrong, but it shows him just stuck down there. So I'm thinking he was conked out.
I don't. Maybe. I think he just intentionally sunk.
Yeah, you know what? I think Net's right, because when she went to grab him, he was at the bottom and he wasn't moving.
Yeah, because he didn't expect that to happen, so he didn't
Yeah,
activate jets. He didn't activate anything to
Yeah.
Until he took him off, but yeah.
It was too
push
fast.
it.
It was too fast. It was like instant.
If he knew it was coming, he would have been fine, but he didn't. So it just
Yeah.
shit, bonk.
The look on Bo-Katan's face when she saw the Mythosaur is real. It's crazy.
Yeah. So that's why I say that this is 1.5, because
Yeah.
he should be dead, because Bo-Katan should never have been here when this happened.
Yeah.
And that's because R5 was here, because of reasons that should never have happened. But the baptism itself was kind of cool. And him going in and saying and doing the "I swear on my name," all that stuff, that was cool. And I don't think that they really needed to do the, "Oh hey, guess what? You're screwed. We're doing this." But they did that, and they saved him by doing something with someone who shouldn't have even been here. So,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thanks, Pelly.
But it does work. Thanks, Belly. But it does work just for that exact fact. All those things coming together happen to be at the exact right same time, right place. Everything was right. It was crazy.
If they took the time to actually let all this stuff build, it wouldn't be an issue. But kind of like Nacho was saying before, you introduce it and then you use it right away.
Yeah, they ham-fisted it, is what usually Nazo says.
Yeah,
they just ham-fisted it into an episode.
Which goes along with what I was saying with, the Mines of Mandalore. Well, that was fast.
Yeah. and the fact that it was still, because Chernobyl is still radioactive all these years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's not like they wanted to use the Mandalore for anything else, so they used some sort of fusion bombs that they knew would clear up. I'm pretty sure that they wanted to leave it unusable, so that they wouldn't have gone to any effort to use some sort of advanced fusion bombs that cleared up quickly.
Yeah, that's where they got the expression when a planet gets glassed.
Yeah. That's what Star Destroyers are for.
Yep.
To destroy planets.
Yeah, make them uninhabitable.
Their intention is not actually to decimate enemy armadas. the intention of a Star Destroyer is it is as a planet destroyer, and that's actually the thing that people forget about with the Death Star. The Death Star actually it isn't a really big step up from what the Empire already did. It was
Yeah.
just a quicker version. The Star Destroyers were already doing what the Death Star was made to do.
Yeah, and it's in a smaller venue, a smaller way, but it's like they took the existing technology,
it was something like
combined it.
if you have it was something like if you take 3 Star Destroyers and you could just destroy a planet, but the planet itself would still be there, but the planet was now unusable. The Death Star just destroys the full planet, but in effect, same thing. Just one's more holy shit than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, when Obi-Wan said that he just heard billions of people cry out and then they were silent, but in the other case, it would be people are suffering very slowly.
Yeah. Over the course of 3 days, the planet dies instead of an instant.
Yeah. There's screaming going on. It's been going on for 3 days. I'm getting a headache.
Which in some ways might actually be worse because the torture dying
Yeah.
over that period of time might actually be worse than the instant. I mean, it would be a really big headache for that instant, but just imagine someone connected to the Force feeling that many deaths through torture.
Yeah. It's the difference between Din using his rifle to disintegrate somebody, or shooting him through the gut and watching him bleed out. There's a difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Or even better, the Darksaber. Cut a limb off.
Yeah.
Cut a couple limbs off.
Now keep in mind, when a Darksaber or lightsaber cuts things off, it does cauterize the wound.
But the trauma.
Well, the point I would make more to you is stabbing somebody with it.
Yeah.
Cutting a limb off, you're cauterizing it, but stabbing someone with a lightsaber, yeah.
Kind of like what Maul did with Qui-Gon.
Yes.
Yeah. All the way through.
Yep. So yeah.
And it was a slower death, definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that covers most of the episode.
Yeah, and we come to the end where she pulls him out. They're both wet.
Did you look up the mythosaur for the holiday special? It's actually kind of different looking than how the mythosaur looks in the episode.
Mythosaur.
Like, I think in the episode the tusks are more noticeable.
Yeah. Tell me if this is the one, and just give me a sec. I'm opening it. I'm opening it in a tab so I can share it.
Yeah, to me it looks like a raincore in the water.
Yeah. The reason why I was asking originally was that I was wondering if the thing at the beginning of last episode was a mythosaur, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, I give her cheating. It's funny. She said, "I go, do you want to cheat?"
That's not the mythosaur.
Okay. It came up that's one of the things that came up when I searched for a mythosaur.
Okay, let me have a look. See, give me a minute. I'll send you the image via Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. Twitter's evil. I don't use Twitter for anything. Oh, come on. Someone needs to call bullshit on me saying that.
They had different variations since The Mandalorian, but the original holiday special was this looking thing. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at my DMs right now, so just send it to me.
Hang on. I'll set it in the net stream regular since I can't see yours right now.
Oh, that's fine. As I say, my full DMs are right in front of me, so whatever.
Yeah. I just sent
okay.
it, so
Yep, I got it.
Yeah, I can see those tusks. That's pretty cool. It's like a wolf with tusk, giant wolf.
Yeah. Once
no,
I
Dad,
go
not
into
in the
that-
stream. Look in the StreamYard thing.
Yeah, just take a sec. You'll see
That's
the
that's the original, the OG Mythosaur.
Here we go.
Eugene.
Oh, the cartoon one. Yeah.
Yeah, from the holiday special.
Yep, that's the mythosaur. So it's like a dinosaur, basically.
It kind of looks like a brontosaurus.
Yeah, but with the brontosaurus, that's a meat eater.
Yeah.
Boba Fett wasn't nice to it either. He's like, it's just a dumb beast that keeps eating. Stop it.
That's
So,
funny.
yeah. I think with that, I'm going to end the stream. But especially you JG, stick around for one because I got something I want to show you.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so I'm going to end the broadcast.
Okie dokie.
All right, so we'll reconvene next Friday after the next